breaking news.
Authorities arrest a doctor on 4 counts of sexual battery. Good evening, I'm Meg Gatto.
And I'm Liz Reyes. Gabby Gillett reports a Fox 8 source says he touched patients sexually during medical procedures. Gabby.
Well, Liz, Meg, our source says that Dr. David Berry inappropriately touched his patient's breasts. The source says that witnesses reported it happened at St. Bernard Parish Hospital. The St. Bernard Parish Sheriff's Office put out a warrant for his arrest yesterday. Now he's booked in jail. Local doctor Brobson Lutz is stunned at the allegations against Berry, calling them bad for the medical profession as a whole. Lutz says the Louisiana Board of Medical Examiners now likely has a close eye on the criminal investigation into Berry.
It's inconceivable to me that the State Board of Medical Examiners is not aware of this situation, and I'm sure they're monitoring it closely, and if they need to intervene, they will.
Also today, we learn more about Berry's past. In 1997, the Louisiana State Board of Medical Examiners suspended his license on allegations he wrote himself prescriptions for controlled substances. The board reinstated his license in 2002. More recently, in 2019, Jefferson Parish Sheriff's deputies arrested Berry on account of DWI. He entered a diversion program in that case. Now, Lutz says he hopes the allegations against Berry don't affect public trust in the field.
The allegations may well have been true, they may well have happened, but that's something that's so very, very rare that I don't think people need to be concerned about that as long as they're seeing a physician who's been in practice, who's a recognized professional in the community.
Now, Ochsner Health runs St. Bernard Parish Hospital, and in a statement yesterday, hospital CEO Kim Ellender said that the hospital took immediate action after learning of the allegations against Berry. She said neither Ochsner nor the hospital ever employed Berry directly and that he hasn't treated patients there since May 1st. St. Bernard Parish Sheriff James Pullman says the investigation into Berry is ongoing and asked anyone with information involving this case to call the sheriff's office or Crime Stoppers. We did reach out to Berry at a listed home and work address and couldn't reach him. Meg.